How do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know what you don't know. He said, show me where I'm wrong. Show me one instance of us working together where I'm wrong. I said, it hasn't happened yet, Steve. Doesn't mean it won't. Get back to work. Don't worry about it. I'll worry about it. You make the software. I have the chips. Make the software. Go make the honey. I have the queen bee. Don't worry about it. And that is pretty interesting because you got to prove it that he was wrong. Let's accelerate. He's dead now. But the philosophy of Apple, and I'll give you the way you look at it. I can go buy a $330 laptop right here with the same processing power of this $1,800 Mac laptop. Why would I spend $1,800 when I could buy this for $300? Why? Brand. I want to be part of this universe, this honey right over here. The Apple Care, the fact that the OS works on all the platforms and the messages are shown on all platforms simultaneously, all the OS, all the honey. That platform is the power of brand. I'm not leaving this universe. And Apple is one of the world's largest companies. And you may say, oh, an innovation is going to make everybody leave that platform. I don't think so. They let other people sometimes bring in a new market and then they take it over. And I saw Steve do that multiple times. He did it with the phone. I was around for that. That was crazy. I mean, he had the vision that we would someday run our software on the phone. I said, you're out of your mind. The screen's too small. He said, no. You're going to go vertical. You're going to rewrite all this crap vertically. I mean, I can't fault him on anything, although I kept telling him, you're going to get it wrong one day. You're not going to be right all the time. I can't find when he wasn't right. That's the frustration, because I teach this, to a bunch of really smart kids at Harvard, of which, by the way, a third are international students. And they say, well, when did you catch him? I said, I didn't.
What was he doing? Did he have a practice or principles that allowed him to see around the corner?
He spent a lot of time at night, even studying fonts and looking at art and focusing on the signal. I think his wife talked about that a lot. She spent more time with him than anybody else, although Woz talks about it a lot because those guys spent countless hours together. But Jobs defined, he would take instances from nature into his head or from Japanese, scripture or text or imagery and redefine it into technology in a way that no one else was doing. And that's the idea of the honey and the bee and the queen and all that stuff. It kind of comes from his view of the world. And I don't know if you can understand this, but because it came from nature, it was easy for people to assimilate it. It wasn't foreign. When they looked at the imagery and the design, he tried to pull from pleasing images from nature, like the fonts on the first Macs. I remember when we were writing the code for that saying, Steve, this is not what people are used to seeing on a computer screen. He said, no, it isn't. That's why it's going to work. If you think about the very first scalable fonts, I saw that first. And I said, Steve, this is almost foreign. He said, well, how does it make you feel? I said, it makes me feel pretty good. This looks like it's on a piece of paper. I don't know, you weren't even born when this stuff was happening. But he was so far ahead. And this is the same way Elon is redefining, whether it's, SpaceX or whether it's what he's doing in neurosurgery or Tesla or, all of these initiatives, his satellite technologies, they are the same, those guys, except, Elon's 100% signal. I said that earlier. They are the same, and they're treasures. They're national treasures. It doesn't matter if you like them. It doesn't matter what their politics are. It's irrelevant. The contributions they're making to society and to America, frankly, and the competitive nature of countries. That's why I thought it was so important that Trump make up with Elon. The most powerful man on earth should have a very good relationship with the richest man on earth, because he's the largest industrialist on earth.